this is probably a 50-50 issue. A lot of people don't believe this, but Nick Saban was going to come to Texas if Mac Brown resigned. All that stuff was happening behind the scenes. His wife was in Austin looking for houses and scouting, and Mac Brown said, screw you, I'm not resigning. And that ended quickly. And that was the only chance we had. I know before Charlie Strong was hired, we pursued him. That was fake. That was never going to happen then. But prior to that, I believe it was 2 years after the national championship, they had a chance at him, and that got ruined quickly because Mac Brown did not want to step down at the time. That is Doug Flutie, not Tom Flutie. When does Mark release his strength of schedule? That's a really good question. I don't know. Usually, I think he does it like a month before the season, so that should be coming up in the next month, or I should say after the next month it should be coming up because we're on what 66 days or something like that for college football to start. Yes, we did pursue Kyler. He turned it down. His dad's an A&M alum. He actually, that was the thing. He visited Texas, and it was supposed to be a secret. That was specifically told to Charlie Strong, we'll visit, and you might even get a commitment, but you have to keep it a secret. It did not stay a secret for very long, and that was probably part of the reason he went to A&M. On part of his dad went there as well. Yeah, I believe we win 8. So we're off by a game, and that's possible. 8-4 to me is the bottom just because the talent that we have, the offensive line isn't going to be great, but the talent on offense, and I think with Gary Patterson, the defense becomes average, which average in college football is around the 60 to 80 mark. I think there's a really good possibility we win 8. I think that's the marker I'm looking at. Again, we play Louisiana Monroe to start the season. We should win that game. We play Alabama. That's a loss. We play UTSA. We should win that game. Kansas on the schedule. People can clown us all we want. We're not losing to Kansas back-to-back years. That should be 3 wins right there. I mean, you have 9 games to get 5 more wins to get you to 8. I think that's reasonable. I don't think that's unreasonable. Yeah, Gary Patterson is one of the best ever at finding 3 stars and turning them into 4 or 5-star players. And offensive line, Kyle Flood has a type. He doesn't seem to care about stars. He cares about the body type. He likes really big guys. For example, Connor Stroh's like 6'6", 345-pound guys. I don't really care what his stars are. That's a giant human being. If you can just get his footwork down and his hand placement right, he's going to be an average player at worst. I did not know that. I thought you were talking about Doug Flutie. Does his brother play? Either I'm getting trolled right now because I did not know that Tom or Doug Flutie had a brother at all, which is crazy if he did. Doug Flutie was short. Hell of an athlete, though. One of the best athletes no one knows about. Another one, look this up, guys. Most of you probably don't know this. Look at Danny Woodhead in high school. That guy was a stud at every sport he played. Insane athlete. 5'8", 5'7", something like that. I think 5'7" and 5'9", averaged like 30 points per game in high school. Could dunk. He was really good. And that goes to show you guys, like, if you're that short and you play a sport, you have to be an insane athlete. Like Nate Robinson, insane athlete. They're just great athletes. It makes sense. Even if you weren't very fast, you can see people on the offense are going to move on for the other team. I tried to read that. Yeah, and Gooseby. Yeah, well, that's specifically TCU, so he could probably badmouth recruit TCU and know it well because he's from there. Walden, I'm not sure. I think a lot of these guys, to be honest, he's a 3-star, so a lot of 3-stars, to be honest, just jump and eventually land on their best opportunity. No offense to Oklahoma State, Texas is a better opportunity, and if like an Alabama or Georgia offered him, I wouldn't be shocked if he went there instead because that's what you do when you're a 3-star. You just jump until you get there. The best running back in the history of the NFL is either Walter Payton, in my opinion, or Barry Sanders. for two different reasons. Barry Sanders, I was like, I was like trying to catch water, guys. Like you can't hold water in your hands. It gets through. That's how Barry Sanders was. Walter Payton for a different reason. Walter Payton was one of the best teammates in the history of the NFL. If you watch the '85 Bears series, how those guys spoke about him, and they spoke about him like a god. Fantastic teammate, great runner, seemed like a very good human being. So those would be the two for me. Zion Clark. I can't say Garrett Wilson because Garrett Wilson chose Ohio State over Texas. He specifically said why too. Like if you go to Ohio State, you're going to get developed, go to the NFL. If you go to Texas, you're taking your life in your own hands. So I fully understand. Like it would have been awesome to have him, and if we had the right system in place, we probably would have got him. But he chose Ohio State. So, but we did miss on Jackson Smith and Jigma. Ndamukong Suh, I'm sure I butchered that. I was running just to the 3-star 6-6. 100%. That's more defensive line, but I get where you're coming from. And 100%, it is when you're looking at the trenches, you want all the tools that you look for. You want to look at a human being. I'd rather have a big guy and try to develop that than a smaller guy I have to count on that is like plays big for his size, which usually doesn't happen, and then also has to have all that other stuff on top of it. So I would rather recruit gigantic human beings at the offensive line position because even if they're like, let's say they're bad, they're at least hard to run around. Okay, that's pretty funny. Best running back. Michael Vick would have been a hell of a running back. Michael Vick was if he put in the time and if he was more mature, would have been a fantastic quarterback. But he just wasn't. And then unfortunately, when he, after the dogfighting scandal, came back, became more mature, became a better human being. And I like Michael Vick. I'm a big Michael Vick fan now. I believe in second chances wholeheartedly, especially if you spent time in jail. I think you deserve a second chance. And when you get out and if you make the best of it, I think you should be admired for that. And if he was more mature, he would have been a great NFL quarterback. That's a very good question. Do I think he will be a better NFL quarterback than Colt McCoy? I don't know if he'll be a better college quarterback because I think Colt McCoy, if you're just going by, I need my team to win a game, Colt McCoy is one of the 10 best college quarterbacks in the history of college football, in my opinion. If you're just saying, hey, I need to win a game. That's my opinion. You with OB, I'll check that out. What are you checking out? I don't know. I wish I was with Orange Bloods. That'd be pretty awesome. I'm not. That is my goal, though, is to get into sports broadcasting, stuff like that. Arches are overrated. It's hard to tell, to be honest with you. 100%. That's the thing. If you can get a big guy that can move, that guy's usually a great offensive lineman. That's like Tony, the guy for the Jaguars? I can't think of Tony Baselli. That's someone like that. Jonathan Ogden. Those guys are huge human beings that can move. That's special. That's what makes you great. If you can get a big human being who's just an average athlete, you can be a good offensive lineman, but you'll never be great. But I'll take good at this point. Like if we have a good offensive line, solid average offensive line with the talent we have around it, we can win 10 games with that. That's why I don't think we're going to win 10 games this year. I still don't think the offensive line is going to be very good.